Well, hello again. I am working today on the lining of our jacket. We're going to create a new lining to go along with the arcs. We're creating a whole new front facing. Show you what we're going to be affecting here. Here are our here are our raw lining pieces that came out with the style when we opened the pattern pieces and pattern editor. None of these have been changed. These are all grouped individually. What I've done here is made a copy and brought them all over here and lined everything up at the bottom. Then I grouped the whole lot of the lining pieces together. So once the lining's laid out on a flat surface, this is what the pieces would look like. Now here in this row are our pattern pieces. Note I've got my horizontal lines. Here I've eliminated the lines and add my notch marks, and I've also smoothed out some of the darts, and I'll show you what I did to that here in a second. Let's see. And then I copied that out to come down here. Now let me show you what I did with the darts. Okay, what I did was pretty much eliminate this back dart. I did make a test run in my muslin of this, and because of this dart right here, I think it creates too many wrinkles. So I went ahead and eliminated that dart and put the arc into a center line I drew from dart point to dart point. Also, what I did was to bring this lower back dart point up from a 6-inch drop to a 4-inch drop, and what that does is allow this swoop here, this arc, to not interconnect through portion of the dart. Okay, that would, if it did that, I would have to take this part of the dart here and transfer it down to the hemline, and I really didn't want to do that. Going up to a 4-inch here is not going to matter. I usually take a 6-inch drop because I have a falling and flat bum, but going up to a 4-inch usually would add more fullness in through this area, but because this is all going to be going into the peplum, it'll work for this particular application, I believe. If this were for a tighter skirt, if this didn't have the flouncing effect added to it later that the peplum will, then it might not work as well. But I think for this application it's going to work fine. Also, what I've done, I wanted to show you one thing. By eliminating this dart, I have added in 2 times 0.44 inches. So where you're going to get almost a full inch of ease added back in to the waistline from this point. Okay, now here is something else I did. I smoothed out these darts right here, and that added in another, see, that's 0.112 and 0.26, so that's about 1/3 of an inch times 2 is 2/3. Okay, so I'm adding about 1 2/3 inches into the waistline ease. Now when I designed this jacket, I designed it with 2.5 inches ease for the chest and for the hip, but with only 1.5 inch ease, no, 2 inches ease through the waistline. I knew I was going to be adding some more ease back into it, and so I just cut it down another 1/2 inch. I think this will work. A little bit more ease of the waistline is not going to distort the garment or anything, I don't think. So that's what I've done. What we have to do is to get rid of these dart legs right here and right here. We'll be eliminating this and this and this and this. So let's just get rid of those. Now, unfortunately, I think if we take the upper dart leg, no, it won't. Okay, so let's delete those out. Okay, where'd that come from? Ah, okay. So we can take this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I think I want to take this out as well. Zoom previous. All right, let's take those out. All right, now we've got a nice little line coming up through here. Everything seems smooth. Let's go ahead and do some intersecting on and see if we can get this to flow into this line up here. No. Zoom window. What's going on? Ah, let's move a point. Left click, don't forget. Ah, fudge, I messed it up. Move point. Don't forget to left click, right click it, I mean. Right click. I messed it because I didn't tell you the right command. Ha. Now let's do an intersection. That's better. Zoom previous. Now I added all my notches. I added a triple notch at the center back of the peplum to make sure I remember to sew that instead of putting it on the fold. I left my grain line in. I like to put a notch on every one of the arc's panels. So I've got this notch here. It's too close to that arrow. Let me move it. I've got this notch here. Move him down there. Here, 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 here. I also notched the end of the dart points. There were automatically lines inserted for the waistline, which is fine. I want you to be especially careful and make sure you put your notches in right, excuse me, through the armhole area. Also, go ahead and put a notch right here where these overlap. Now you can zoom in to get it perfect. You know me, OCD. Oh my gosh, it's perfect already. Must have done that earlier. But on your sleeve insertion area, your armhole area, make sure you put 2 notches for the back area and 1 notch in the front. That is the universal placement for notches in a sleeve and in an armhole. 2 in the back, 1 in the front. And let's see, where else did I notch? I notched at these points here. Anytime I saw one of these symbols, I went ahead and notched into it. Because I won't draw this whole symbol, I'll just draw the notch. Okay, we don't really need this piece right here. Where's he go into? What happens if we get rid of him? Not too good. Let's go back. Okay, we're going to do an intersection then. Let's zoom the window. Intersection of this center line to the arc. There we go. Zoom previous. Actually, we don't need that center line, do we? No. Don't. Okay, what we need to do here though is to break this right here and in the break right there. That gets rid of that. So that'll still match up right there. Let's zoom previous, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Okay. So we've got everything here that we need on this particular thing. We've got, let's go in here and get rid of these other dart legs that we smoothed out. So we're going to break this from about here where that X is. Oh, wrong. Break this from here to here. Okay, why isn't it breaking? Oh, that's the lining. Okay. All right, I know what I did. I know what's going on here. Ah, okay. Here's what we're going to do. We do need to get this arc and this arc into the lining. Here is a representation of what the lining's waistline looks like. So we're going to be transferring this smoothing arcs over to the lining, but I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. Let's zoom previous. So we're working. Where are we working? I lose track of where we are. All right. So we've got this already. We've got this all notched. The next thing I did, let's get over here, I brought down the aligned lining pieces down to where the portion of the screen that I was working in. I just made a copy. And using that, having them all grouped together, I went ahead and overlaid that onto my pattern pieces right here. So what you're seeing, this is the pleat that goes to the lining. All of that in red is my lining. You can see it's already too short. We're going to have to lengthen it. In order to get, actually it's not all lining, that's the back facing and that's the front facing, but you know what I mean. We're going to have to alter this front facing to curve. We're going to have to alter this lining piece to curve. We're going to have to decide whether we want to line the peplum or not. I think I'm choosing not. So I'm going to copy this arc, I'm going to copy this arc, and I think there might be a point where I have to copy this arc. So in order to get my lining right here, I copied this arc and this arc, left the grain lines because they were in the lining already. I didn't get these smoothing arcs right here. I copied this arc, this line, all of this, the center front. I copied all of this down here, these two vertical lines, and I think I added a vertical line right here to get it down to this point right here. So once I had all my lining and all my arcs selected, I moved them over here. I made a copy and moved them over here. So this is what we have for our lining pieces right now. This right here is separate. This piece here has been separated, and this piece here has been separated. Now we need to do the same thing to the lining pieces that we did to this pattern itself. We need to join this piece. Let's see, this piece, we're going to copy this, we're going to copy this, this, that one, this one. Okay, gonna get the side, gonna get this little notch, gonna get this notch. See, we've already got the front facing of the undersection, and then we're gonna collect this arch as well, along with this notch and this notch. Oops. Click it on the X, you can get them better. Okay, make sure I've gotten everything I need. So we're going to copy one over to here. Now we need this piece and this arc, side seam. Nope, not that. Did I already get it? Should it already be in there, really? I think it is. Should be. Okay. Let's copy object 1 and bring him over there, and it was. Okay. And then we're going to go here. We're going to get the back piece, back facing piece. Copy this arc, this line, these notches. Lost it, didn't I? I might have to go in on a zoom window. Don't forget to get these bottom lines, because you know that you're actually, I'm wrong. We don't want those bottom lines because we're not even going to keep the peplum. Okay. I got the lining, I got the back facing, I got this arc, I've got this line, got that arc, got that. Let's get in here. Let's get our notches, although we really don't need them for what I think I'm going to do. Okay, we'll zoom out so I'll have some room to take this, and we're going to copy object 1, see what happens. Okay. Now, sorry. Here's the trick with the back. Let me zoom in here. You don't need that. Alright. We need to ungroup. We need to intersect this with this. We need to eliminate this. And we need to intersect, let's see, this with this. Nope, that didn't work. Let's zoom in. And let's do a line across. Intersect here and here. That needs to go away. Zoom out. Okay. This has got to be separated because we don't need to do anything to it. Here is our back lining piece. Right there. Let's group it. Let's tackle this guy next. No, let's go to this one. And what we need to do here is to ungroup. We're going to intersect here to here and intersect here to here. And what that's going to do, hopefully, is allow us to get rid of, let's see, intersect here to here. That didn't work. Let's zoom in, see why. Okay, let's intersect here to here. That didn't work. It's because it's a move point situation. See, move point. Right click. Now let's go out and try it again. Here with up here. Okay, that worked. So we need to get an intersection of here to here. I need to get rid of that. What happens? Okay, I can live with that. Let's move this point then. I think I can live with that. It's not too much of a drastic change. And then we eliminate this, zoom out. There's our lining piece for the front side. This is what the front facing is going to sew into. So I've grouped that. Last thing that we got to do here. Come on, baby. Probably should clean up this line down here on this guy. Let's ungroup him and see what the deal is. Okay, let's do an intersect here to here, and from here to here. That did it. Zoom previous, group, Control G. And he goes up here. Last thing is this. So we'll ungroup U, Control U for ungroup, and get rid of this line and this line. We'll intersect we'll intersect here, here, and we'll intersect this to this. It didn't work. Okay, where are we here? Then can I break it? Okay, good enough. Let's try an intersection of this here. Let's see if we can break that guy off. Yep. Intersection here up to here. And what happens with this? I'm going to try another intersection from here to here. That didn't help, so let's do a zoom window, see what's happening. Gonna have to break it. And zoom previous CP. Other than words being too long, that looks pretty good. So let's zoom out. Other than this. Do a couple intersections here. Okay, there's what I think I'm going to stay with. Group it. Okay, so he goes over here. No lining for the peplum. We will add a 1 inch seam allowance. Sorry. All through here. And turn it under so we can allow the peplum to flow free. Now let's grab this back facing, line him up, and there is our lining and facings. See? It's not that big of a deal. It's just tracing over things, carrying arcs and lines from one copy to another, merging, grouping, you know, that's it. It's just tracing. It's not that big of a deal. Don't be afraid to get in and do it. I was. And then once I started doing it, it was fun. So we got this. Next thing I'm gonna do, this is gonna be the final drafting of my pattern pieces. So I'm gonna go in here, separate, add seam allowances to these pieces and to these pieces, and then we'll be ready to cut and stitch. I don't know how many segments it's gonna be for the construction of the garment, but I know that the cutting won't be but one video. It's not that big of a deal. I do have some real pretty fabric. Let me see if I can find it for you right quick. That's another pattern I want to make. La la la. I want the forums. It's on the second page, I think. Yeah. Here. There. That's what I've got. I have this this is actually drapery fabric, but I thought it would make a nice lining for this. If I decide not to do it, I'll still stick with just a regular beige lining. And then this is, it's got a real pretty texture to one side, almost like a woven texture. So it's going to look pretty. Didn't cost me much at all. I got it at one of Walmart's sale tables, and I liked it so much that I think I picked up 5 or 6 yards of it, so I'll probably have enough not only to make the jacket, but a pair of pants or a skirt to go with it. It all depends. Anyway, that's the end of this video. The next one will be actually cutting the garment out. I'm not going to show you how I print it out, tape it to the wall, and then trace it with tissue paper. That's rather boring, and it gets in the way, and I don't do it all at one time. It's kind of over the course of a night that I do it, so I won't show you that. Hope you tune in for the construction and the cutting out of the garment. If you're an experienced seamstress and you have some kind of CAD or drafting program that you could do this with, certainly go ahead and work along with it. If you have Pattern Master Boutique, yeah, go ahead and work along with us. If you don't have Pattern Master Boutique and you do a lot of sewing, I really urge you to get it because it is well worth the cost. Anyway, I'll see you next time whenever we lay all the pattern pieces out and cut them out. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.